If you recall, Skip, when I first came to you and said, hey, we've got a problem, I don't really know what it is, and you said that sounds like a communication problem, that's what I do, and that's exactly what it turned out to be. Well, if you remember, I came to you, we had a very serious incident here that ended up with the dismissal of one of the employees, and I couldn't understand why other people would know that something was going on, but they never came to tell me about it. When I've always said the door's open, I'm accessible. If there's anything you need to talk about, talk to me about it. And that was kind of the turning point. That's when, just by coincidence, that's when I'd been invited to the seminar that you were giving, and I came to you afterwards and described that very problem. Hey, look, there's a serious thing here. Not only had they not told me about that, the other employees, that individual had been doing or not doing other things which were not quite so serious but equally important.
2 years ago, I don't think all of the employees worked together well. There wasn't a lot of trust between management and the employees. I think we were status quo. We weren't focused on moving ahead. We were just happy with day-to-day operations. I think that's changed a lot.
Before, our communication wasn't very well. We're at odds, management versus technician. I have a little bit of a walking on eggshells feeling with him. I know there was a part of me prior to a lot of this movement I wasn't sure whether I wanted to still continue with the company because I didn't see any future other than what I was already doing. There was no real value toward improving because there was nothing to improve toward or for, or there was no reason.
The employees that have been in the company for years, they had came back to me, talking to them, saying that the communication that has happened in the past couple months since you've been here has been phenomenal. The change that I've seen personally, it's hard for me to say I've seen a change, but the change from my past jobs, my past career, huge difference.
The company works as a team now. There's no division between management and employees about what they can say to each other and how they interact. There are goals that are set. We know how to advance the company now, and it's done in a way that it's fun. And you feel like you have a purpose. You're not just coming to your job. You're doing something that's advancing the company.
We've been able to work through those issues, iron them out, and become partners essentially. Take greater ownership within the company for what we do, and learning how to project that for total company improvement.
What has been most effective is the communication between the employees and between the employees and the owner. Since you've been here, the communication has been phenomenal.
And it's translated tremendously toward better attitudes, better company harmony, for lack of a better way of putting it, and just enabled us to enjoy our work again and see greater purpose in our work, which is of great value.
Shawn has been with me the longest. It wasn't unusual to bang heads, not say in a friendly kind of way, but sometimes not so friendly. I guess there was kind of, we weren't on the same page with a number of things, but you've seen for yourself actually, Skip, how Shawn has turned around. He's the one who led the charge out the gates with the game and getting the prospects, and that's been really, really pleasing. And we have a relationship where we actually communicate in a way that civilized people should do. But no, we're moving forward now. We're moving forward with ideas. The game is one. The 5 Assumptions campaign. We've all been involved. That couldn't have happened without the involvement of everybody. And that's just the start, in my opinion. That's just the tip of the iceberg, in my opinion. Now that I see the possibilities, and everybody sees the possibilities, and get engaged, and it's fun as well. We enjoy doing it. I have a lot more confidence that they are hopefully content with the job and interested in the job they do, and see some purpose to coming to work other than The technicians have satisfaction anyway going out and completing the job for the clients, but I'm happy that that satisfaction doesn't stop at the job site. It's at the office, it's the whole environment now, so that gives me a comfort level. We're all on the same page or something here.
I would say it's been a 180 compared to where the direction we were going, which to some point I even felt at least 2 out of the 3 technicians at that time may have up and walked out and just said, I can get a better level of stress somewhere else. As opposed to being 3 technicians, 4 really. Okay, I think I can see a future here. And that is a 180. So, but what I think you've had is great flexibility. And I think that rather than just adhering to a rigid set of forms, you've realized that not only are individuals individual and prone to flexibility, the whole culture within a business is prone to flexibility, and you work to recognize, make changes, desire to make changes and improvements on the fly within, it's structured spontaneity, really. I mean, so and that creates improvements, really. Being able to be flexible and seeing and reading what the situation is, I think Skip's been very valuable with that. And non-judgmental, and that's been tremendous as well.
I think one of the big values is the fact that it's not me stood in front of the board and trying to explain things to people. I think it's important to get an outsider like yourself in, because then it kind of gives some legitimacy to the program. I feel like it's just not Garry ranting on again. And also, obviously, your expertise, how to structure these things, your knowledge, and opening our eyes to a whole lot of things. I always remember on your proposal, and you telling me about it, that you were going to, your service would pay, or your input, your program would pay for itself between 5 to 10 times over. And I really had difficulty seeing how that was going to happen. But your service certainly paid for itself to that degree, which was kind of an eye-opener. So there's been a lot of value, no doubt about it.
Definitely recommend what you do. It's been very helpful.